Greetings to the earthly mother, heavenly father, angels, big bro, fam, tribes, not races. DHA don't hate. Today, we're going to do it like kings and queens, guys. We're going to set up the throne, which is our home. And we're going to precept it and find out that the home is our throne. So get ready. Mixing laws 2.1. And it's always got to do with mixing and keeping things balanced, because unjust balance is abomination to him, along with an unjust weight. And remember, all the weights are in his bag. In the bag are the Most High's, Prov.16. Just go back and look at some other segments. So let's do this real quick. Deuteronomy chapter 17, starting at verse 14. When you come to the land which the Most High is giving you, and possess it and dwell in it, and say, I will set a king over me like all the nations that are around me. Verse 15, you shall surely set a king over you whom the Most High chooses, one from among your brethren. You will set as king over you. You may not set a foreigner over you who is not your brother. So when you read that in verse 14, coming into a land is like buying land. You come into land. You buy a home. And when you buy that home, it's you buying it. And so you have possessed it. So guess what? The Most High has chose you as king over that land, over that home. That's your home throne. And I'm sure you don't want any foreigner coming into your home, running your home, or another brother running your home, running your queen, your wives, your maidservants, or whatever you have. And there's nothing you can do about it. You bought the land, you bought the home, so you've been chosen. It's your home throne. So I hope we establish that. Okay, in this home throne, in which you have kingship, Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 16, but he shall not multiply horses for himself. Vehicles, anything with wheels, don't have a lot of them. It's right here. You know, bless somebody with some, or do something. Right? Don't have a lot of them. Nor cause the people to return to Egypt again. So don't go back into the bondage, the oppression, the former mess that you was in, spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, our actual place, our actual conversation. Don't go back to it and get back up under that same slavery. You've been set free to serve the Most High and push forward, push forward. And the Most High is telling you at the end of that verse, don't return to it again. Verse 17, neither shall he multiply wives for himself. There we go. So you're talking wives. There's some mixing going on in there, and you got more than one wife. That's his permissible will. Remember we discussed in Exodus 21:10. So don't multiply wives, because he says if you do, they'll turn your heart away, fellas. They'll turn your heart away from the Most High, because you'll be serving their gods and their images and idols, and instead of the Most High. And he said, love him with all your heart and being. And so you don't want a woman to steer you away from worshiping the Most High only, you know, as a king. So watch out. Make sure your queen is a queen. It says, don't multiply silver and gold. So don't have a lot of money. You know, keep it balanced. Bless folk. Do something good in the community, but do it with love, because without doing it in love, it's like doing it in vain if you don't do it in love. And so don't have a lot of money, you know, and we'll precept that in Proverbs, where it talks about having too much makes you turn away from the Most High, and not having enough also makes you steal, which you're still turning away from the Most High. So it says there, just give me enough, you know, and that's Proverbs chapter 30. But we're going to go over there to talk about the queenship. But Proverbs chapter 30, verse 7 through 9. 2 things I request of you. Deprive me not before I die. Remove falsehood and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with the food allotted to me, lest I be full and deny you and say, who is the Most High? Or lest I be poor and steal and profane the name of the Most High. I steal from the Most High. So have what you need and not too much. Bless other folks. Okay, let's move on. Verse 18. Also, it should be when he sits on the throne of his kingdom that he will write for himself a copy of this law in a book from one before the priests and the Levites, that the priests and the Levites have. And it shall be with him, and he shall read it all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear the Most High and be careful to observe all the words of this law and these statutes. So you got to put the word in front of you. You got to live by his laws to judge righteously, because that's the only way you can fear the Most High in your kingship over your home throne, to rule it right and not to be this dictator or tyrant or person that's evil in your own home with your queen and your prince and our princess, our princes and princesses. So rule righteously. That's why he wants you to keep the law in front of him constantly, daily. And then it says, also verse 20, that his heart may not be lifted above his brethren, that he might not turn aside from the commandment to the right hand or the left, and that he may prolong his days in his kingdom, he and his children in the midst of Israel. So also for you to be humble, your heart not lifted up above your brother. Very important, because we get highfalutin and nobody can't tell us nothing, but the law is to humble you with a contrite spirit, to have love and compassion for your brother, and to deal lawfully in a righteous way with your brother concerning every aspect of life. And especially if it's on your land or in your home, or if you're on your brother's land or in his home, that you don't deal treacherously with him because you have more and he has less, and or deal with him in a way that you're taking and coveting his stuff like Jezebel and Ahab did. And they paid a price for it when you read that story. And it prolongs your days with your children. So if you want to live long and be prosperous, you know, these are all the things that you do as a king. Now, there's other things. We'll go into Proverbs chapter 31, the virtuous woman that everybody talks about. And we might not get all the way through this one, but let's start. This is the words, Proverbs 31 at verse 1. The words of King Lemuel, the utterance which his mother taught him. So this is a queen teaching the prince. He's about to become king. You know, kind of Solomon and Bathsheba teaching the prince. He's about to become king. So she says in verse 2, what, my son? And what son of my womb? And what son of my vows? Do not give your strength to women. So the queen is telling the prince before he comes to king, don't give your strength to women. Don't be serving their idols and doing what they want you to do, because the Most High made you first. He made woman next. So you don't answer to the woman. You answer to the Most High. And his laws will keep you righteous enough to deal with your family righteously in a righteous manner. Because you don't want that little cute smile on that woman and that little flirtatious thing that the queen got in between her legs, and, you know, all the little womanly ways to get your mind twisted and not do what the Most High told you to do. And so this is what she's trying to tell the king. Nor your ways to which destroys kings. And one of these ways is in 4. Don't drink wine or intoxicating drink. You know, lest you drink and forget the law and do the wrong thing. And then you're going to have to pay a high price, you know. And you can go read about that in Samuel and Kings, what David had to pray. 70,000 died from a decision that he made that the people forced him to do and doing a count. So you will pay dearly. Not only being intoxicated by drink, but just intoxicated, non-soberly thoughts that are not lawful, that are not righteous. They will get you in trouble. Be careful. Then it says, if you drink, you might pervert justice and of all the afflicted. You don't want to pervert it or being impartial. But she says, you know, in deciding matters of law with people that really need help in lawful situations, and they need righteous judgments and not somebody to be impartial because they're poor and somebody else is rich or somebody has a little more influence. No, judge righteously without partiality and without respect to persons. And so now you come down, it says, get a strong drink to those that are afflicted, dying, that are perishing, that are hurting, bitter of heart, going through some things. They need a drink. Give them a drink. Yeah, I don't make it a habit, y'all, because you know what happened with habits. You see the liquor store door opening and closing and every day, and, you know, it don't stop. So now you come down here, and then also to forget their poverty, you know. Now it says, she tells him in verse 8, open your mouth for the speechless and the cause of all who are appointed to die. Open your mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy. So we just covered that. And then verse 10, who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. That's a good woman if she's far above rubies. Yeah, that's a good woman. And it's about to tell you here in a minute what this far above rubies virtuous woman is. The heart of her husband safely trusts her, so he will have no lack of gain. She ain't stealing from him. She ain't taking from him. She ain't downing him. He has no lack of gain. Nowhere. She's not putting him down, cussing him out, trying to fight him, doing all kind of crazy stuff to him. No, she's an asset to him. And he loves it. Watch. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. All the days. Not sometime, not here and there, not waking up good, bad, or in between. She's good to him all the days of her life and does not do evil. Verse 13, she seeks wool and flax and willingly works with her hands. This is the queenship. This is the queenship. She is like the merchant ships. She brings her food from afar. Oh, she provides food. Oh, somebody told me the man was only supposed to provide. Oh, okay, excuse me. Yeah, she brings her food from afar. She also rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household and a portion for her maid servant. So remember, Bathsheba, David's wife, Solomon's mama, the queen, there was other wives that David inherited from Saul and that he got along the way, and there was maid servants. She was taking care of everybody, didn't have a problem with it. Permissible will at work here, guys, permissible will, and this woman understands that this is a kingdom. We're trying to go somewhere with this. It's economics. We want to keep giving something to our kids and keep bringing a flock of righteous men forward to cover these women. It's a lot of stuff going on. Okay, so now she considers a field and buys it. Oh, so she real estate. She's a go-getter. Whoa, a king, an actual queen of an empire's wife? Yeah, there it is. From her profits, she plants a vineyard. Then she's flipping it. Oh, wait a minute. She's flipping the money now, making a vineyard. We finna sell some more stuff. And strengthens her arm. So she's stronger and stronger. She's a comparable helpmeet to that man to bring something to that home, you know, to that king and to all other people in that house. She perceives that her merchandise is good. She's not negative. It's all good, baby. All positivity with her. You can't get nothing negative across her. And her lamp does not go out by night. She stretches out her hands to the distaff, and her hand holds the spindle. So she's a hard worker. She don't play. She extends her hand to the poor. Oh, she loves giving to the community. She just don't walk by people and look down on them and act funny. Oh, she's a giver. Yeah, she reaches out her hands to the needy. That's how a good woman does. She loves taking care of people. Use wisdom, though, because it's crazy in this day. She is not afraid of snow for her household, for all her household is clothed with scarlet. She makes tapestry for herself, taking care of everybody in the house. This the queen. This the queen, y'all. This the virtuous woman. Listen, her clothing is fine linen and purple. She's got quality. Her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land. So this man's name is good. He ain't acting crazy, selling drugs, beating up women. drinking, acting a fool. He's known, and he's a good man, a good name, So think about it, fellas. Think about it. That's part of the kingship. She makes linen garments and sells them. Domestic go-getter. Here we go again. She's making the money. She's flipping it. And supplies sashes for the merchants. Strength and honor are her clothing. She shall rejoice in time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and her tongue is the law of kindness. Again, she ain't cussing people out and acting crazy and stupid and slapping and hitting and beating the kids. She's correcting them properly and doing everything that a good woman does. Wisdom, law of kindness is on her. She watches over the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Hard worker, not idle. Tale-bearer, not going to other women, grapevining, hating on women, and doing all that and just acting crazy and just acting fool. Her husband also, and he praises her. Her children rises up and call her blessed, and her husband also, he praises her. Many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. So she excels the maidservants, the other wives. She set a standard, and he's noticing it. And she's not tripping about the permissible will of the other wives and the maidservants. She's taking care of everybody. She understands that this has a purpose and that the Most High has control of this. So see the mixing, the imbalance, the balance, the permissible will. And so charm is deceitful and beauty is passing, but a woman who fears the Most High shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. Don't take from her. She's flipping it, man. The queen is flipping it. Let her flip it. She's bringing it back to the household. She's not going to do you evil. You're not going to have lack of gain. She knows you the king. She knows the throne separates you from her. So we've set up the kingship and the queenship. We finna do this like kings and queens, y'all. Stay tuned. I got more, because we got to get this righteous rule, this permissible will, and all this stuff right, and stop the foolishness and build back up our communities, our children, schooling them, agriculture, fending for our own selves and not the system, because if not, we'll die in it. So to be continued. Much love to the tribes, not racist, DHA, don't hate. And remember to read left out, removed books of the Bible, and study history, past and present, in totality before the information age as we know it is gone. Love y'all. To be continued. Later.